Okay, looks like we've finally got a match. It seems like there were some bugs earlier, but hopefully it's working now. So, greetings. Okay. So I like to put my units down in initiative order. You can click on them in their initiative order down here. I like to keep my archers behind my front line. I like to keep my front line ready to get up and in my opponent's business. Just shift everyone across a little bit. Get them more centered. With the siege archer in. Backbiter, just back a bit from the front. Then when your positioning's all set up, click ready and good to go. And we've got a battle. So at the start of the game, mainly you want to start looking at your stats, the enemy stats. So look at how much armor you got in blue there. Look at how much strength you got in red. Have a look at the enemy's units. See, this guy's got 2 siege archers. So they're probably going to be good at knocking off armor. He's got this shield banger, really high stats. A backbiter with fairly low strength for a backbiter, a thrasher, and a warhawk. It looks like they've all got fairly good armor, except this really exposed siege archer here. If she's not careful, I'll be able to kill her in 1 or 2 turns. She's actually got really low stats. Lots of willpower though. She'll probably use lots of special abilities. So with my archer, so you can select them. It defaults to move when it first highlights them. I just have a move range of 2. I actually want to just deselect that, bring up the options here, use the ability, and I'm going to put down an arrow here, just to stop him from like charging in too close to my guys. So that's her special ability, Rain of Arrows. It basically puts a trap on this tile, so if any enemies step on it, then they end their turn, and they also take a strength damage attack. So you can see he's charged straight in. He wants to get straight to the business. Spent 3 willpower to do it, and then he's going to attack my shield banger, which, I mean, this guy has 4 armor break, presumably, so it's, you know, a pretty good target to attack. Seems like a bit of a wasted effort to spend 3 willpower just to do that, when now it's my shield banger's turn and he can fight back. So I can't actually move this unit, so I want to click on him. I want to select attack, the nice red icon here, and then I want to click the square of the guy that charged in. You can click 3 units, that's no issue. He's actually got pretty low armor, so I could actually do 6 damage straight away, which is going to mostly cripple him, or I could knock armor off and then do another attack, but I mean, I can just do, with that little armor, knocking his strength off is super effective, so this unit's basically no longer a threat anymore. He can do lots of armor damage, but he can't do any strength damage anymore. At least not until all my guys have lost a lot of armor. So a bit of an odd decision there. I'm probably playing against someone new, but since I'm using just one of every class and doing a tutorial play, this is probably a good match to play against someone with simpler strategies. So the basic idea of the game is you want to attack their units until all their units are dead. But there's a lot of complexity to the game, so it doesn't stay as simple as that for very long. So I actually want to get straight to the business and get into fighting. So I'm going to send my guy up. I want to attack this guy. So you can see I can do 3 strength damage. I could do 3 armor damage. I'm going to do armor damage in this case, so that way when I follow up with another attack, it should be quite effective, quite a lot of strength damage. So I should be able to kill this guy in my next attack basically, or at least get his strength very low. So one thing you'll notice as I keep playing is quite often I don't try to kill units outright, but just weaken them as much as possible. So once you get them low enough on strength, they're basically useless, but they still take up turns in the initiative order. So that means they've got to use this unit that can't really do anything. So generally I like to keep units on just a little bit of life. A little bit of strength, because life is strength. So I took 3 damage there, not a big deal. I can use my siege archer here, standing still. Could do 1 damage, or I could knock off some armor. I may as well soften him up for a future turn. And So these stars here, this is your willpower. So you can see I've got 5 willpower on this siege archer right here. She can spend up to 2 willpower a turn because she's got 2 exertion. So I can add extra damage to my attack. So if I click this star, pumps it up to 4 damage. So now it's going to do 4 armor break instead of the normal 3. So you can invest willpower in doing extra damage to armor, extra damage to strength, or for using special abilities like that rain of arrows or this slag and burn you can see just here. Now the slag and burn is an interesting attack. You can see it covers a cross panel, 5 squares total. It detonates at the start of the siege archer's next turn, and it does 1 armor and 1 strength damage for each tile. So if a Varl is standing on 3 of those tiles, he'll take 3 armor and 3 strength. It also does 1 damage when that fire arrow first hits, so straight away it can do 1 armor and 1 strength damage. So I can attack this Wild Hawk doing 6 strength damage. My Warhawk, sorry, not Wild Hawk, Warhawk only has 1 armor break, so I'm much better off attacking strength here. It's going to be very effective. I'm actually going to spend the willpower point to pump it up, because I want to get as much strength off this enemy Warhawk as possible. As quickly as possible, because you can see he could punch over the armor of my units. Even though this guy hadn't lost any armor, he was still able to deal damage because his strength was so high. And same with my Warhawk. My Warhawk's strength is so high I was able to do 7 damage with that 1 willpower. Just because again, his strength is so much higher than their armor that he can do damage anyway. So it's one of the real advantages of the warrior classes, especially this Warhawk. Now I'm going to move my Backbiter in. Backbiters are really good at attacking armor now. They have the equal highest armor break in the game, which is 4. So I'm going to click the red arrow, click on this target, a really high armor target, so I've got to break his armor. So you can see if I just attack strength that it'd only do 1 damage. But you see it's got a percentage above here, 70% chance. So I've only got a 70% chance to hit with this attack. That's because... let me close this. That's because his armor is higher than my strength by 3 points. So I just want to attack his armor for now. I'm going to spend an extra willpower, bump it up to 5 total. That's going to put him down to 10. So just click to confirm. There we go. So now he's only got 10 armor, which is much more manageable. So probably do 1 more armor break attack on this guy, and then I'll be able to start doing strength attacks that'll be effective. So the enemy siege archer here, you can see her slag and burn just detonated, got 1 armor and 1 strength damage to my poor little thrasher down here. And you can see there's this nice kind of tunnel towards these archers, so my thrasher is going to want to sneak down there pretty soon, unless they cripple him even more. She tried to do a strength attack, but he's got full armor, so it wasn't very effective. So no one detonated that thing I had down here. That's unfortunate. My archer has pretty low break, but she has pretty high willpower. So she's got a range of 5. You can see she can attack a lot of squares. I'm just going to do a bit more armor damage. You can see I've only got an 80% chance to do 1 damage for that. So 1 armor damage is better than that. But I'm actually going to spend 2 willpower. So she's got 5. She's still going to have 3. And it's going to do 3 armor damage. And that means I can probably start attacking strength on this shield breaker. Especially with, especially with my Provoker or my Warhawk. Backbiter actually has a special ability where they can move through enemy squares and deal 1 armor break to each enemy they move through. So to any enemy they move through. Then at the end of it, they actually deal strength damage to the last target they hit. So this one's only a rank 1 Backbiter, so he can only go through 2 squares at a time. But if he could go through 3 squares, if he was rank 2, he could spend 2 willpower, go through both these units, deal 1 armor, and then do a strength attack. You can see instead he went over here, did 1 armor, ran through, then did that strength attack. So he ended up doing 1 armor and 1 strength damage. You can see his stats are quite low, so it's quite good doing armor and strength damage there. So I'm going to move my Provoker up. And he's got quite high strength. This guy's got quite low armor, so I'm going to go up and do a nice solid 5 strength damage hit. Let's walk up and punch him in the face. Super effective. So your main aim in the game, I feel, is to try to reduce the enemy strength to the point where they're no longer really capable of threatening you. As you saw over here, this Thrasher did 1 armor and 1 strength damage, but my Archer's going to be able to do a lot more damage to him. So she's not really threatened by him, so she can kind of ignore him and focus on these other targets. You can just see the Bloody Flail special ability of the Thrasher. Does 4 attacks, 3 of them choose randomly between armor and strength damage, and the last one hits for strength. So my Thrasher's almost dead, so I want to get him in there to do something useful. I don't want to block up this path, so that way my Warhawk might be able to move through soon. And he's got heaps of willpower, so I'm going to move in here and use a Bloody Flail of my own. See, she's got quite low stats. So I click on the special ability, nice purple one. Click on the target square. Confirm, see it's telling me it's going to cost 1 willpower to cast it. Then he'll do 4 attacks. So 1 armor, 1 strength, 1 strength, 1 strength. Awesome. So that's really good. So now she's only got 2 strength. She's pretty debilitated. I can essentially ignore her for now until I get to the point where I want to start killing units. So it's now the enemy Warhawk's turn. You can see he's got lots of armor, not much strength. The only targets he can really get to on this turn are this high strength Warhawk and this, high strength, high armor Warhawk, and this high armor, low strength Thrasher. So he could kill the Thrasher, but he's probably better off doing an armor break or something like this on my Warhawk and starting to get closer to these archers so he can threaten them. So yep, does the right thing, does some armor break there, very effective. So when you're actually moving, it'll tell you what squares you can target with these red flashing squares. So I could just shoot this guy right now and kill him, but I actually want to leave him alive since he's not really doing anything for the enemy team. If I can move up to 2 squares, and then I can do an attack. I'm actually going to just finish off knocking off the armor of this provoker, so that way I can kill him to clear up this area here. So I'm going to do 1 extra willpower. That'll still leave her with 3 willpower. So my backbiter will be able to finish him off and then get through and start attacking these archers to deal with them. There's now actually room for my Warhawk to move in here and attack the archers. I feel like these archers can defend themselves from these 2 units and my units can focus on killing all of his. And then once they've cleaned that up, they can come back and help the archers finish off these 2 guys. You can also use rain of arrows here to try to stop the Warhawk from getting too close. So that'll be useful once the time comes. So as I said, I want to move towards these archers, let's get as close as possible. On the way over I can attack this Thrasher. I'll actually kill him outright, which isn't ideal, but it's not too bad. So now this leaves room for my Provoker to get through towards them, and my Thrasher could go around and do another Bloody Flail or something like that. Or break armor, even better. Excuse me. Remember to always drink lots of water no matter what you're doing. Very important to stay hydrated, whether you're working hard, mentally or physically. So as I said before, I want to use this backbreaker to start to get around the back and attack these archers. So I'm going to use his run through ability. I accidentally clicked the square here, which will default to an attack even if I'm in the move mode. But what I want to do is reposition, so I'm going to exit out by clicking on my unit, click on his ability button, target this Provoker. That way he'll run through, so go through, deal... Oh, he actually does 1 armor damage for each square that he goes through. And then he does that big strength attack. So this has got him in prime position to take out this archer on his next turn. So when you're first playing the game, just focus on learning the special abilities of each of the characters. They're not all useful in all circumstances. In fact, they're all pretty specialized. There's like a couple of situations where using them is super duper awesome, and then there's a lot of situations where it's bad or average, or you're just better off doing a normal attack or something like that. So it's only by experimentation or a lot of theory crafting or reading guides that you're going to figure that out. But more fun than theory crafting and reading guides is playing the game. So get in and play, try them out. Try it in weird situations, try it in normal situations, and see how you like it. You might even find something new that no one else has really done before. So you can see his archers are trying to retreat a bit here. Actually, I've been saying that this is a siege archer, but if you look at it, it's actually a base class archer, so she doesn't actually have any special abilities. You can see she's got pretty good stats, especially with that willpower and presumably a bit of exertion. She'll be able to chunk my guys. Now, he did a weird thing here. He backed up, but he didn't do an attack. I would have thought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He should have broken the armor on this unit here, in my opinion. Slight mistake, but not going to hold it against him. So my archer here can actually... Ooh, what I'm going to do... Yeah, I'm going to just stay here. I'm going to shoot this rain of arrows. I'm going to put it here. I think there's a decent chance of him walking onto it if I put it there. So this will do strength damage. He'll get bonus puncture damage, but he's got full armor, so it's not going to do any bonus puncture damage. But if he was missing armor right here, it'd actually get the puncture bonus. So say this guy was on 16 strength and 0 armor, and he used to have 10 armor. That means it'd do 7 plus 5 bonus puncture damage, 12. So it'd do 12 damage to him. So keep in mind that the rain of arrows gets a lot stronger towards the end of the game once it can start to get that puncture bonus. Now one thing I'm curious about, I'm not sure whether this deals damage based on the strength of the archer when she fired it, or the strength of the archer when it hits. So if anyone has tested that out, definitely let me know, because I'd be curious as to what the answer there is. So I'm just going to waltz my provoker up. I want to deal with these archers as quickly as possible. Archers are kind of scary threats, especially towards the end of the game. So normally I'll maim them in the early game, but as soon as it gets to the mid game, my priority is going to be on killing them. Unfortunately, my provoker can't quite kill her, so he's just going to put it down to 5 damage. Hopefully my thrasher can do a crazy bloody flail to take her out. So here's the Warhawk turn. He knows that I've shot this rain of arrows, but he doesn't know where I've put it. Also, Warhawks take up 2 by 2 squares, so 4 squares total. So it's really hard to avoid things like this. So the rain of arrows on the Sky Striker is super effective against these big targets, like the Provoker and the Warhawk. I think it's probably even better against the Warhawk, because the Warhawk is so dependent on getting into range early and dealing damage before its strength gets whittled away. So you can see it stopped him in his tracks, so he can't attack my guy, and it dealt that 1 damage, so extremely effective. So as I said before, I want to move over here. Oh, actually, I'm going to be able to use my Warhawk pretty soon to attack... No, they're both going to get action, so I'm just going to go in and bloody flail her now, before she gets away. So special ability again, bloody flail. So basically, there's a chance that I won't kill her, but it's like a 12.5% chance that I won't kill her. It's pretty low. Armor, armor, armor. There you go. 12.5% chance that I don't kill her, and we got it first time. Awesome. It did maim her and it did soften her up, so she'll be even easy to kill. So it's not a total tragedy. She is still pretty maimed and useless, but it has delayed my victory by 1 turn. But delaying your victory by 1 turn to delay the enemy's victory by 2 turns, you know, if this archer gets 2 more turns where she can't do anything, it's a pretty good trade in my books. Means that your opponent is twice as far from victory as a result of that action than you are, which is always good. So now I've got a chance to attack this guy. I could do a strength damage, 80% chance to hit, but I'm going to take this armor damage, armor break, knock off as much armor as possible, and then confirm that. So that way my next attack is very likely to kill him, or I will actually be able to hit him at least. And I'll be getting that puncture damage from standing still as well. So hopefully my Sky Striker can finish him off. So it's back over the archer's turn here, the Siege Archer. 4 armor, 2 strength. She can do some nice armor break on some of these units. She could try to go for a luck shot and take out this Thrasher who's getting right up in the face. Or she could even use Slag and Burn. Slag and Burn, if you center it right on him, that's going to do 1 and 1 guaranteed damage. She's decided to block up the path. I think I would have taken the kill on that guy because he's being so annoying. Well, it still would have blocked a bit of space, but then it could have killed her own unit, I guess, and you don't want that. Actually, guaranteed would have killed this unit because I'm going to walk in and kill her right now. And when the archer dies, all their special abilities detonate, even provokers. So she's forced me to kill my own unit and cause my other unit to take 1 damage by sacrificing herself with a Slag and Burn. So not a bad strategy at all. So any special abilities that are on the board, whether they're trap tiles like the Slag and Burn and the Rain of Arrows, or whether it's a provoke from a provoker, it will actually detonate, cancel out when they die. So traps detonate and deal damage to anyone standing on them, even if they're friendlies. whereas Provoke just cancels, so it stops them from losing their turn. I believe that's true. If I'm wrong, let me know. But I'm pretty sure if you kill a Provoker, your unit no longer tries to attack him. So if you really need, say you got your high strength Warhawk who's being provoked by their Provoker, and you really need to let him get off an attack, otherwise you're going to lose the game, and you try to kill that Provoker as quickly as possible before his turn comes up, so that way you can still attack him. So my archer can... So she's got 5 strength here, he's got 4 armor, so normally she'd do 1 damage, but she gets 2 bonus from puncture. I'm going to take that 2 bonus damage and add 2 willpower. That's going to boost it up to 5, and that's going to take out that unit. Extremely effective. And then Convenience would have it, the Provoker is my next unit's turn, so as long as he can get to this archer, he's going to win the game for me. So always congratulate your opponent on a good game towards the end. Of course it's most courteous to wait until you can actually make the final blow. Yeah, make sure you're courteous. You know, it's always good to keep the community good, and so far the Banner Saga community is one of the best I've ever seen in any game. So keep it up, enjoy the game. Use my tips to learn how to play. Use my tips to learn how to beat heaps of enemies. Check out the guides, check out the other streams. There's heaps of other streams out there, and enjoy the game. And I'll just do one more little tutorial thing on the end here. Once you've won a game, you want to go check out how well you're going. Head down to the Hall of Valor. That's where you can see your ranking, see how you're doing. Check out who's in the top 20. If you're not in the top 20, it'll display what rank you are down the bottom here. Check out the ratings. You can see we've got some really dedicated players here on a ridiculous amount of ratings. So you can see ratings, you can see it by wins, you can see it by win versus loss ratio. So you want to keep your win versus loss ratio nice and high, ideally. That will get you up the rankings. And also by games played. So you can see I haven't played that many games. I'm 34th, so there's 33 people that have played more games than me. I'm only at 16, so I've got to play more games. You've got to play more games. And enjoy the game. Have a good one.